After 76 witnesses, 500 exhibits brought into testimony, and 1 month of hearings spread out over 4 months of time, the contested case involving water rights in Wailuku is finally complete. The streams of Waihe'e, Wai'ehu, Iao, and Wailuku are known as the Four Waters, or Na Wai Eha. The fertile lands and abundant water made this area the largest irrigated agricultural system in Hawaii and a major population center for Maui. The landscape 200 years ago included taro or kalo fields that covered the valley floor and houses of farmers that dotted the valley slopes. With Western contact, the landscape of the Wailuku Plain began to change. By the late 1800s, much of the kalo was gone and the plain was covered by fields of sugarcane irrigated with water from the four streams. Cultural and environmental groups have claimed that water downstream from this location is being diverted by former plantation interests. The group Hui o Na Wai Eha has petitioned the state to establish in-stream flow standards to sustain stream life and Native Hawaiian practices.
Stream restoration is also necessary to support a host of other related beneficial in-stream uses, including recreation, aesthetic values, and the exercise of Native Hawaiian rights, including kalo cultivation, in-stream and nearshore gathering, and spiritual practices.
System users say the current irrigation uses are beneficial. The system serves various users, including Hawaiian Commercial and Sugar Company, that uses the water to irrigate approximately 5,300 acres of its 30,000-acre plantation.
Every year that HCNS continues in business, that's another $100 to $150 million at a minimum that is being put into the economy of Maui and the state. This shouldn't simply be taken for granted. Obviously, HCNS is still in a difficult time, in a transition period. What the future is going to be is unclear. But at least so far, and for the next 5 years, AMD is supporting HCNS. And every additional year that HCNS is in business, these are good jobs. It's a lot of spending in the Maui community, and the fields are being kept green.
The group Hui o Na Wai Eha says that the diversion severs Mauka to Makai connections and the natural flow of the ecosystem. They say that they want 3 things: more monitoring, assured access, and restoration of sufficient water flows.
The disruption of natural flow is an overriding factor impairing the biological and ecological integrity of these streams. The company's diversions diminish overall species diversity and abundance, affecting the entire stream-based food web and ecosystem.
Wailuku Water is the company that manages the irrigation system. Now, at this point of Iao Stream is where the water is being diverted. Just how much is the magical question.
The point here is we've got a minimum flow ranging somewhere around 26, if we're using that as a base flow, chasing 42 to 60 million gallons a day of demand. Obviously, it's a difficult process trying to balance those type of numbers.
The water usage on what's been referred to as the Iao Waikapu fields, which is water that is delivered directly via some of the ditch system and not via the Waialae Reservoir. So that's average for those 3 years is 10.42. So that comes out to just under 50 million gallons a day, just as an average usage by HCNS, which has been established.
No one but the companies bear the burden to justify their own private commercial uses. The burden of the company's lack of proof does not fall on the public, and neither is it the Commission's place to compensate for the company's lack of proof. Regarding Wailuku Water Company, after all this time, what have we found? First, what we knew all along. Wailuku has no reasonable beneficial uses of its own. It has sold off all its former agricultural land to developers and recreated itself as a water company peddling water to these developers. And now it's sprouted a new head of the Wailuku Water Distribution Company to deal with the PUC, a transparent ploy to jack up its rate base and thus its profits off public water.
With supply going down and demand going up, representatives with Wailuku Water say that the most reasonable approach is to share to avoid polarization in the community.
So you've got a supply factor going down and a demand factor going up. And we have a case that is not a water duty case. It's not a case where a permit is going to be given out to any one individual or entity for the use of water. the only allocation of water in this case is going to be the 4 streams. So no matter how one may look at it, all of the existing users are going to have to deal with less water available for end users, and over time probably less water available generally from the resource.
Now, once a transcript is complete of the March 4th meeting, attorneys on both sides will have about 60 days to compile a more detailed argument. Then it'll be another 3 months before an initial decision is reached, and then it goes to the full Water Commission for review. A decision is not likely before the spring of 2009, and those close to the case say it will likely be an appeal. For MauiToday.tv, I'm Wendy Osher.